Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to the Garage Gym Athlete Podcast. I'm your host, Jared Moon. The Garage Gym Athlete Podcast is a result of my desire to build better humans, unequivocal coaches, and autonomous athletes. I've spent the last several years obsessing over program design, nutrition, and every other way you can optimize human performance. This podcast distills the latest scientific research with what I've learned and blends it with the not-so-scientific field of mental toughness. We are here to build you into a dangerously effective athlete. If you enjoy this podcast, you can find out more about our training at garagegymathlete.com. And if you want to pursue more into the field of coaching and programming, head to endof3fitness.com. Thanks for listening. All right, ladies and gentlemen, welcome to the Garage Gym Athlete Podcast. Jared Moon here, and with me is Tyler Karns. Man, how you doing?
I'm doing great, Jared. How are you doing?
I am good. I'm very excited to dive into this. I think it was all the way back when we were doing the seasons, episode 1, season 2, something like that, a long time ago. Right. So I want to just catch up with you, man, get some updates. But before we do that, I'd love to get a basic introduction because it's been a while, since people probably listen to your episode. So, who you are, what you do, and how you train. I would love to hear all that good stuff.
Yeah, my name's Tyler Karns, 34 years old, married, have 4 children now between the ages of 1 and 9. I'm a full-time police officer, and I'm also a paramedic on the SWAT team. And then I work part-time as a security guard at one of the schools, local schools here, so that my wife can go back to school. And we did that at first so she could watch the kids, but now she's back in school as they're getting older. And so it keeps me quite busy.
Yeah, sounds a little bit busy, man. I think you had me at 4 kids. That'll keep you busy enough.
Right. Yeah, very much so. But with her back in school, I'm getting to spend more time with them, which is awesome. So I'm loving it.
That's really awesome, man. So it's been a long time. I really want to know what's, start with what's changed, any like big stuff that's changed. Then we can get into some of the more, detailed questions about your garage and everything else. But because I think it's literally been a few years since, it's hard to believe that this podcast has even been around that long. But, I would love to hear about, what's changed and how things have been going for you.
Well, I do the programming. I think when I did the interview, I was just maybe on the trial. But right after that, I signed up for the actual programming. So it's been over 2 years. And typically I go between strength and harder to kill. In northern Indiana, the wintertime can be unpredictable. So I can do conditioning in my garage. So typically I do the strength in the colder months and harder to kill. Last summer I tried out your 3 block, which was great because for 3 months I did bicycle patrol. So I was just riding a bike all day. 20 miles wasn't unusual for us to ride on a weekday during the job. So other than that, I'm doing the strength right now because we're in February.
That's awesome, man. And so has your setup changed in the garage at all?
Yeah, it has. This quite a bit. So I've got a real rack now. I had like a half rack. That was really how I got started into the garage gym. My buddy, he's more of a bodybuilder, and he's like, "Hey, I got this half rack. Do you want it?" It's like, "Well, yeah, that'd be great." Because I was going to the gym and Global Gym, and it was good, but it would, it'd take me 15 minutes to get there, and then I'd always see a bunch of people that I know, and it just was taking too much time. We were just starting a family, so now I have a real rack. I have probably my proudest piece of equipment is the GHD that I traded for CPR classes. My buddy owns a CrossFit gym that a guy I work with, and he needed his instructors to be CPR certified. And I was kind of jokingly said, "Hey, I'll trade you for a GHD because you got it. You just gotta come pick it up because I got a new one." So that was pretty awesome. And then I got a $50 rower at a yard sale, but it was it's like a commercial grade that was in an old YMCA, and Airdyne, and my box step, which is probably actually came from you. I'm betting back when I built that, before I knew what garage gym was, I found the plans and made it off of that. And then, punching bags that I use occasionally, and a few bars and bumper plates.
That's awesome. So quite the upgrade, man. You've gone all in on the garage gym athlete lifestyle, which is awesome.
Absolutely. I really don't think at this point there's anything that I'm missing. I mean, I've probably been doing it in my garage for about 8 years. So every so often I want to upgrade this, or I want to try this out, and I'll just go grab it. So
yeah, now you need to find another CrossFit gym for, trade CPR for reverse hyper, and you'll literally have
there
everything.
We go.
Yeah. That's awesome. So you mentioned you've been doing it 8 years in total?
Yeah, my best guess be about 8 years in my garage, because I wasn't really working out until 10 years ago. And that was when I became a police officer, and a couple of guys I was working with, we were out at dinner, and they're like, what do you do to work out? And I was like, I do sit-ups and push-ups, and I run sometimes, because that was the fitness standards for the academy. And I thought that was good enough. And they're like, no, I mean, you got to, so they got me to go to the global gym, and then it just kind of evolved into the garage gym. And I was, internet hopping for plans. I would get on a 12-week plan by just looking up, what did I wanted to work on, but it's not near what you guys do. And then for a while I kind of got sick of that. I was like, well, I would just go out in the garage, like, what do I want to do today? And so I wasn't really progressing towards anything. I was just burning calories, is basically all I was doing.
Yeah, that's like my worst nightmare. But it's good for. I mean, some people can handle that, but you're probably more like me, and we're very similar. Like, if I'm not on a plan or a program, like, I really feel like I'm almost wasting my time, even though I know what I'm doing is still good for me. So yeah, I think being on a plan is really important. But man, you've put in the work. You're wearing the red PR shirt right now,
right.
Which means
represent that.
You've earned it. So anyone listening who doesn't know, we have 2 different PR shirts. There's the black PR. So if you submit a video, we send you a black PR shirt for 1 PR. But the red PR shirt means you hit 5 PRs in 1 cycle, submitted videos for each. So I'd love to hear a little bit more about that, man. You don't have to like necessarily recall every single PR, but like, how are you able to dial everything in to be able to hit 5 PRs in 1 cycle?
I'm certain that was when I was on Harder to Kill track, and most likely in the summertime too. I've had it for a while, so I don't really remember the specifics, but just follow the program. I don't do any extra. I'm eating right. The elements is a game changer. Just going in there, and I am just as likely to go look at that as I am to the workout. I'm diligent about getting those points, and it's made a huge difference in how I feel the next day. I'm not as sore, and just feel more energetic to get the next workout in.
That's awesome, man. I love that feedback on the elements, formerly the recovery game, and now the elements. And that is such a big piece to all this stuff. So, I mean, you were probably around before that we even had that in the program. So what have you noticed difference starting to focus on those things as opposed to training and not focusing on those things?
One of the biggest things that I've always kind of knew it was the right thing to do, but you consciously have to think about is chewing your food. Yeah. And I mean, and when I see that every morning, I'm like, all right, because when I work, a lot of times I'm eating in my car, and I only I'm eating between calls or whatever. And so I just try to consume it real fast, and seeing that written down there like that makes me like, okay, slow down, actually, and smelling my food. When my wife's like, are you smelling your food? I'm like, yes, it helps with digestion. So she thought I was kind of crazy at first, but yeah, that was the biggest takeaway. The other thing I like is the meal timing, intermittent fasting or time restricted. That's helped me a lot with heartburn and just overall feeling better, bloating and all that. So
that's awesome, man. Do you do just like a 12-hour window, or how long do you normally stretch it?
I try to do at least 12. But again, if I'm working the night before, I just pay attention to when I finish eating, because I try to be done by 7, but if something happens or, I'm on investigation or whatever, I just pay attention 12 hours from the time I'm done eating. And then sometimes it can be up to 16, but it just depends on, the next morning, what's going on, where I got to be.
Yeah, that's a good range. That's, very similar to what I do. Well, that's really cool, man. And I, you've been through our fuels course as well, which I'm sure kind of helped solidify some of those some of the element stuff and some of the bigger reasons behind it. And have you been able to integrate, any of the post workout type nutrition stuff to dial things in?
Yeah, I train fasted, so there is no pre-workout or anything. I've never been on those pre-workout supplements either, but
Awesome.
afterward high protein. I do carbs too. Right now I'm kind of on a oatmeal and peanut butter kick. So I'll do a third cup of oats with a big heaping scoop of peanut butter. And then I'll drink my shake with it right after my workout.
That's awesome. You know what? I just reintroduced oatmeal into my life a few weeks ago, and I love it. I missed it.
Yeah. I kind of go up in waves with it. Sometimes I get really bored but you just got to do it right. You got to have the right consistency. And I think I finally figured that out with how much milk I add and peanut butter and all that. So
that's awesome. So what are some of your goals right now?
Goals, really my only PR that I want to get still is a 315 squat, and I'm at 310. So I'm thinking with this,
you're real close.
with this strength track here, I'm pretty certain I'm going to be able to get that. But the other ones I've met, and I'm at an age and a point in my life where I don't feel like I need to be chasing PRs. I'm really happy with everything that you've helped me accomplish to this point. So if I could just add 5 more pounds to my back squat, that'd be incredible.
That's huge, man. That's awesome. And I mean, you've already hit so many PRs. You want 315, you're at 310. I mean, no doubt you'll get it, man. I can't wait to see that video when you do. All right, man. How do you like training in your garage?
I don't love things. I always tell my kids, we don't love things. We love people. But if I could love a thing, this would be working out in my garage.
Yeah.
It's just fantastic. Like I said, I don't really have a schedule where I can get up every day at this time and work out before this. Each day is different. This is the closest I've ever been to having a schedule, is that Sunday mornings. Now I can get up and work out before church. And then on Mondays, I have to get up real early because she's got class. So I'll get up super early and work out. Then the rest of the week, it's just wherever I can fit it in. I prefer it in the mornings, but if today, I had to do it after she got home from class and, the kids laid down, the younger kids went down for a nap. So I didn't hit it until about 1:00.
Yeah. What's the, I fluctuate on my schedule too, but if you had to pick a biggest struggle, the hardest thing in being a garage gym athlete or getting things done, what would it be for you?
Biggest struggle. I don't know. I've kind of worked out all the kinks. I don't know that I really struggle with anything anymore. It's just kind of all my kids and my wife, they just know that I'm going to be out there at least 4 days a week and that I need an hour. And sometimes they'll join me, which is fantastic. I love it in the summer when I can just open the doors and they're out there riding their bikes, or they'll pick up the PVC pipe and they'll start mimicking what I do. So really, I don't think I have any challenges in the garage gym.
That's awesome, man. Yeah, I guess after 8 years, getting closer to a decade doing this, you squash all that, right?
I do. Yep. Yeah, it was difficult at first. The temperatures, or just getting the motivation and discipline to go out there and do it all the time. But now it's like I need to be out there 4 days a week.
That's really cool. And what are the ages of your kids?
My daughter's 1, and then I got 3 boys, 3, 7, and 9.
3, 7, and 9. That's awesome, man. And
so the oldest, he's as long as he can remember, it's I have videos of him doing burpees when he was like 3 years old out there in the garage. So
really cool. And so the boys, maybe all of them, they all get out there and get after it with you from time to time?
Right. My daughter, the 1-year-old, she hasn't been out here yet. But all the other 3 have, absolutely. And they'll come, or if I'm out there working out in the morning before school, they'll come out and see what I'm doing, or try to jump in and get the heart rate up a little bit. That's
really cool. All right, man. Well, I want to see if any of these answers have changed. It's also been a long time, so maybe they have, maybe they haven't. So what is the hardest workout you've ever done?
Yeah, I remember the hardest workout that I told you, and I think it was mostly because I was down in the academy and I was competing against other people. But I tell you right now, the bear complex is getting me. It just tests my will every time we do it. But I get in there, I'm like, I'm going to lower the weight, or No, I just get in there. I do at least the same amount of weight and just get it done. It just gets me down every time. But
yeah, the bear complex has been kicking some butts this cycle. That's for sure. Now, in your opinion, what's the best activity for building mental toughness?
Yeah, I remember last time I said do something that you don't like but you know you ought to do, and I would change that to consistently doing that. I mean, anybody can go do a random thing like unloading the dishwasher, but if you do it every single day, you get out and you do something that's uncomfortable every day, that's what's going to build mental toughness, being consistent.
That's awesome. And I 100% agree with that asterisk, and that's in my new book, which will be out, shortly, Killing Comfort. That's like the biggest differentiator I'm trying to get people to understand is like doing a hard thing is not what makes you like improve, really. It's not like doing one hard thing. Anybody can do one hard thing, right? Like it's like you did one Spartan race or you had one event in your life that pushed you, but even if it's a small hard thing done daily, that's going to compound into you being better and better. And I think you worded it perfectly, man. I'm in complete agreement. That's awesome. Now, if you could only have one piece of equipment to train with for the rest of your life, what would it be?
I'm going to change this too. And it's going to be some type of air bike, an Airdyne or assault bike.
Yeah. Why is that?
Because my why is health, really. I mean, there's a lot of factors going into that family and everything, but and longevity, but really it's health. And so the weights is great, but I can do body weight movements, but the Airdyne, it's going to increase my VO2 max, which is what's really going to affect my health. And with the winters the way they are, or even in the summer, it can get pretty miserable. But if I got that bike in my garage, I can do sprints. I can do yesterday I did the 50-minute cardio on the Airdyne. It's just pretty versatile, and you can hit different energy systems with the same piece.
Awesome. Now, if Joe were here, he would ask you, what if you could have any piece of equipment to add to your gym. I know you said you're pretty squared away, but like if you could add anything, what would it be?
That's a tough one. I would probably, if it's no cost, I'll probably go with one of those air runners.
Yeah, that's pretty slick device right there. Good choice.
I had Satan's Sidewalk in my garage for a while, otherwise known as a treadmill, and they're terrible. I actually did my first Iron Mile on a treadmill.
Nice.
And it was like right when I just was starting to drink the Kool-Aid, and I went inside. It was icy out. I was like, I'm not gonna walk a mile on the ice, so I loaded up the barbell and did it inside my house on a treadmill, and it was pretty terrible.
That's awesome, man. That's really awesome. That makes it like that much worse, I'm sure.
Yes.
All right, man. Last question of the show. What is the best advice you have for all the garage gym athletes out there listening?
I would say don't allow yourself to make excuses. We could come up with it's too hot, it's too cold, it's too whatever, because we as humans, we want like perfect conditions, but just don't allow yourself to make those excuses, because then you'll keep making them, and you'll just let yourself slide down a slippery slope, and don't do that.
Awesome. Well, Tyler, it has been a blast catching up with you, man. I'm sure, you'll probably be on the podcast again in the future. You're doing awesome things. And I can't wait to see that 315-pound back squat. So let me know when that happens. But I do appreciate your time, and thanks for being a part of the community. Thanks for listening to the Garage Gym Athlete podcast. If you want to learn more, go to garagegymathlete.com. You can learn about our training. Let us send you a copy of our book, The Garage Gym Athlete, or you can even get featured on the Garage Gym Athlete podcast. Thanks for listening.